Do you have trouble controlling your golf swing? Well, most golfers think that they need more help with their rotation, but I'm going to suggest that you might need to work on being better at staying still during your golf swing. So every golfer that I've worked with, almost from the beginning of time, has said they need to work on their rotation. They need to get more flexible. But rarely do they ever think about the fact that they also need to be able to stay still while they're trying to rotate. So in today's What, Why, How video, we're going to talk about what we call anti-rotation exercises. And what anti-rotation exercises do is basically teach your body how to stabilize itself while another force is acting on your body. So if you think about your golf swing and you're going up to the top of your backswing, or you're trying to rotate through as fast as you can, you also have to have pieces and parts of your body that are staying still. Otherwise, you'd be sliding all over like as if you were standing on ice. So we need to learn how to stabilize certain things while other body parts are moving. So I'm going to show you several different anti-rotation exercises today that you can incorporate into your workouts that are definitely going to help you stay more steady over the ball and allow you to then create more rotation in your golf swing. A great way to work anti-rotation exercises into your program is to also incorporate them into other exercises that you're doing. We always talk about doing pushing exercises, pulling exercises, other rotation kind of exercises, core exercises. All of these things can work together to maximize your time in the gym. So today I'm going to show you a way that you can incorporate some of these anti-rotation exercises into first some of the pushing or pressing exercises that you would normally do. So the first one is with a high pulley and a single handle. Instead of just working on rotating and punching and pressing like you've seen before, I'm going to challenge you to stay still while you do your press. And for this one, I'm going to angle it a little bit downward. So I've got almost a little bit of a hinge. I'm going to square my shoulders off, and now I'm working on pressing the weight and controlling the weight on the way back without letting it rotate me all the way this way. I'm going to stay still. I've got to lock my legs in, so I'm creating a lot of tension through my trunk, and then I'm pressing and controlling that motion. Again, always going through nice full range of motion, but working on controlling everything else. And then of course you're going to go ahead and switch sides and do that on the left side. So staying as still as possible, no trunk rotation, and just driving that weight, really staying balanced, really staying tense. Okay, another variation that you can do with a cable system, if you have any kind of a bar attachment on the cable, this is a great one. Not a lot of gyms have the bar attachment, so I know this is not for everybody that's out there, but if you do, you're going to take the bar about chest height, attach it to the stack, and bring it straight out in front of you. On another video that we've done, we showed you how you could rotate and do some presses. Well, today we're just going to do basically like a bench press, but you've only got the cable attached at one side. So again, this is trying to pull me into this direction. So I'm going to pull it square, get my legs nice and centered, and then I'm just pressing as if I'm doing a bench press. So this is really pulling on my right side. I'm really having to use the shoulder, the abs, the leg, everything to stabilize so it doesn't pull me back into the machine. So again, that's a great one to really create that tension and improve your ability to handle that torque when your body wants to pull you out of balance. Okay, we can also throw the anti-rotation factor into some of our rowing exercises. Now, in a traditional row, you can just do a standard rowing motion here. Even this is considered a bit of an anti-rotation exercise because I'm not letting my trunk dip and I'm not rotating back up. But we're going to take this to a little bit of a next level. You're going to put your hand on the bench. You're going to get in a bit of a plank position, or kind of a one-arm push-up position. And now this thing wants to pull me to the floor. So I'm going to hold that there, and now I'm going to do a row. Same as always, nice good tempo, little pause at the top, coming all the way down. This one's really going to turn the core on, turn the trunk on. Obviously, it's also going to be working this opposite arm. If you want to make this a little bit harder on the trunk and the core, you can take your arm, put your elbow on the bench, and then grab the other dumbbell. And then you're going to do the same thing, just continue with your row. But because of the change in angle, this is going to be harder on the trunk, especially harder on the legs and the upper body. One of my favorite rowing and anti-rotation exercises is on the pulley machine. And you could do this at any angle, really. I'm going to do it as a low pulley exercise. One handle, you're going to get in position again, kind of hinged over, nice good posture, shoulders are square, pull the shoulder blades back, and then you're working on rowing, and again, not letting this pull you into that rotation right there. So you got to square up, shoulder blades back, you're pulling, and you're letting the weight back out. Also not using momentum to row back this way. So all of it has to do with really stabilizing. You're going to feel this works the legs, works the hips, works the trunk, works a lot of things while also working on simply the rowing and the lats and the back and the shoulder exercise. I would say that the PALOFF press is probably the most traditional anti-rotation exercise. It's not necessarily a traditional exercise that a lot of people know about, but when you're looking at anti-rotational exercises, this is one that generally comes to mind, especially in the golf and fitness world. And this is where you take the cable or band, whatever you have, again, attached to some weight. So this is pulling me towards the machine. You're going to hold the cable and you're going to press outward and then come back in at a nice smooth pace. We call this a PALOFF press. Going in and out. And again, while this really looks fairly simple, it all depends on how much weight you have on the stack over there. Because as I press out and my arms get farther away from me, this thing really starts to work on pulling me out to the side. So a couple variations that I like to throw in on the traditional PALOFF press. One is just simply holding it in an isometric fashion. So loading up the weight maybe a little bit heavier than I would on the presses. And then I'm going to load, I'm going to hold there, and now just hold that for 20 or 30 seconds even. Really letting the time and the tension build up as you hold that position. Really start to feel that in the trunk. The other thing you can do, and I would recommend going a little lighter on this weight, starting really pretty darn light when you do it, maybe even lowering the cable just a little, is getting into a little bit more of a golf stance, holding it in front of you. And while I don't even really know that you would traditionally call this anything related to a PALOFF press, but kind of the same motion, so I use this in the same reference as PALOFFs. You're going to hold this in front of you, and then you're going to tighten the stomach, keep the back nice and flat, and then you're going to bring the arms up overhead, pause there for a second, and bring them right back down. So not only am I working on my trunk, but I'm getting a lot of work in the shoulders and a lot of the upper body as well. So again, you're here, you're working on that posture for your swing, keeping the shoulder blades back, coming up overhead, coming all the way back down, just like that. And then I'll even do this in a staggered motion or staggered position. So this is really going to challenge the balance here. Coming up. As you get up top, it really makes it harder. Coming back down. And you can play around with the leg that's in front too and switch that up, because that'll change the dynamics of the exercise as well. Coming all the way up, really working on the legs, the trunk, the shoulders. Everything is really firing there. One last one for you. Again, in the same breath as a PALOFF, but for this one, instead of staying straight perpendicular to the cable, I'm going to rotate about 45 degrees here. I'm going to hold this in. Now I'm going to turn almost like I would, as I turn through a golf swing. I'm going to turn my trunk, my weight's a little shifted on my legs, and then I'm going to hold this out here. And now this thing wants to pull me in that direction, so now I'm kind of in a little bit more of a rotated position, but I'm still working on not letting this thing rotate me. So I'm just working on a little bit of trunk control in a little bit of a turned position. As golfers, we're constantly rotating and getting in new spots. So it's good to kind of work on different areas. Now on that one, I would caution you to not go full range and try to take that as far as you can go. Take it to a little bit of a comfortable range. Make sure it's got some pull from the pulley there, and let it pull against you where you have to create a little bit of tension in that position. That's going to allow you to just kind of create a little bit more strength and stability while your vertebrae, your trunk, your torso, even your hips are rotated a little bit. All right, I hope that video helped out a little bit with just a couple ideas on how to train your body to be a little bit more stable through your golf swing. If these videos are helpful and you have any other suggestions on questions that you might have or topics that you want us to cover here at 18 Strong, just let us know in the comments below. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel, click that little notification bell so you get notified every time we have a new video. And don't forget to check out the podcast over on iTunes. Jeff PELIZZARO at 18 Strong. Train hard, practice smart, and play better golf.